Hello, my friends. And I just love spending this time with you. And I wanted to discuss some thoughts that had come into my mind. And because so many people recently have reached out with suffering from loss of one form or another, or great transitions in their lives, both bad and good. And the whole topic of legacy came up, and it just really struck me the difference in meaning of this word from this dominant culture to the one that I come from. And typically, in dominant culture, legacy is something that's left behind after you die. And for the one that I come from, and in the teachings of the Good Red Road, it's too late because legacy is a living thing. And we have been given two gifts that are tremendous gifts that we take for granted from the Great Spirit. And it is our actions and our words. And all too frequently, what happens is because of the demands of the day, just running after this or having to do that, one day can just blur into the next. And if you find yourself stressed out and tired, you find your impatience growing and your tolerance is absolutely probably next to non-existent. So then what happens is that the filters go down. Things are said that are not intended, or they come out very much in the raw, uh, and or you can erupt on the next person or being that just gets on your last nerve. And with that, what happens is that although you might feel good in that moment, may or may not, there is an impression that is made, a wound. It can create a negative energy that can escalate, whether it be an argument at that moment or ill feelings or tension that will come back more and more that you interact with this individual. And then the opposite is also true, where you could be in a good mood and you're not even thinking about it. You had a great day, you compliment somebody, and with that, you just say or share a story, and that person needed to hear that. You may not even know it, they may not even tell you, and it leaves a very long and lasting impression that can impact them, maybe even for the rest of their lives. So here's the thing. One of the two greatest gifts that we were given, these gifts of actions and words are so powerful. They shape our reality. Whether we're using them consciously or not, whatever we say and do contributes to the future that unfolds within our own lives and through the greater collective. So that's what I wanted to share with you. When there's legacy, the idea of leaving something behind you is not just when you die. It's in the everyday. You leave so much in your wake. And I don't want you to be like, oh my God, and walking in eggshells. That's not the point. It's just one of be yourself, like Indy is at all times. And but be aware, be self-aware. There are those times that, yes, you will have to stand up for yourself. There will be those people who are abrasive or don't have boundaries, and you're going to have to stand firm in what you say and what you do. But even then, you know, go very mindfully with that as well. Whatever you do will come back to you. So whenever you think of the idea of legacy, think of more along the lines of, oh, what karma is going to come back to me. Although that is valid and it will happen, come from a different way. Come from what it is that you want to share. What is it that you want to teach? Whether that sharing be of a story, of an energy. What is it that you want for somebody to learn about yourself, and how are you educating them on how to interact with you? Or perhaps it's even in introducing them to a new interest, way of looking at the world, or even another person or group of people. So the idea of legacy is that when you share yourself in a way that is proper and meaningful, and what's understood as people who can appreciate it. Yes, of course, Indy, we always appreciate you. It is that you inspire them. You inspire them. You're not trying to people please. You're not trying to consciously influence. You are just being yourself in such a way that it really touches the other individual to a point where it makes them reflect and think. It can have them lift them up, to lift them up and have them be more conscious of the way they conduct themselves. And the best way of creating a living legacy is not preaching. It's by doing. So if you would like to inspire others to love the planet, then go ahead. You don't even have to say a word. You could just share some of the products that you use that are truly eco and planet and people friendly, and that can inspire somebody to do that. If there is something where you want to introduce someone to something that is beautiful or even funny, share that with them. But it's with the idea of that with everything that you do, you're being yourself. And by being your authentic self in that moment, sharing in that moment, you are creating a legacy. And are there times that legacy is planned out? Well, sure. You know, legacy also talks about creating traditions, new traditions. There's times where old ones just have to fade away. And it could be a new tradition of going to meet with loved ones, whether it be once a week. It could be the tradition of just enjoying downtime every day, hopefully, and so on, and so on. So again, the idea of legacy is being aware of the tremendous power that you have, the impact of your words and your actions, living with them hopefully as joyfully as possible, as realistically as possible. And in this way, your life will become much richer for your benefit and the benefit of those whose paths you cross. So that was really my thought. This idea of legacy is not so much of loss and sorrow as much as building life. And it's exciting. You can see my excitement, and it's just so wonderful. You can always tell when somebody's just being truly alive, and it's electric, and it's just so contagious. And all of us can do this. And I thought of a quote that was said by Mark Twain about, no, not about parrots, about kindness. And paraphrasing, not parrot phrasing, the phrase is that kindness is a language that the blind can see and the deaf can hear. And I would invite you, this is one of the walks that I try to do as a living legacy, where just by being kind to myself and to as much as possible to all living beings, to inspire. And it has been so beautiful to do that. So I would invite you to do the same. And speaking of invitations, if you found this video useful, please have a like for it, share it. And if you haven't subscribed, Indy's encouraging you to please do. And hit the notification icon. That way you'll know when I drop the next video. And very exciting, getting closer to being able to present those meditations, which will be on a paid channel, on a different channel. But until we speak again, my friends, Wanishi and bright blessings.